Warning, the following review is based solely on a demo and nothing more, and therefore has no credibility whatsoever. Watching it may kill off some of your brain cells, so you're advised to hit the stop button now. You have been warned!
Why? Oh God, get this out of my head. Despite being a big enthusiast about forensic science and criminology, it took me a while to sit down and finally get into the long-running TV series CSI Crime Scene Investigation, later to be better known as CSI Vegas as spin-off series were created. When I did though, the great mix of investigation, science and drama instantly drew me in, and despite more recent cast changes, I've been watching it ever since. However, I haven't played any of the PC games, or the board game, or any of the other interactive merchandise releases. So when I saw a demo was available for the new CSI Fatal Conspiracy on the PlayStation Network, my curiosity piqued and I immediately downloaded it. And just a few seconds into playing, just as quickly regretted wasting the time and hard drive space, because this, without question, has to be one of the ugliest games I have ever played. And after playing Kane and Lynch 2, that's saying a lot. You start out, presumably, as a rookie field agent, being debriefed at a new crime scene by Captain Jim Brass of the LVPD, who was apparently put on about £200 since appearing in the TV show. Helping you with this case is your boss, Catherine. Holy f***ing shish kebab! Catherine has turned into an alien? What the? Is this a trial outing for CSI Mars or something? Possibly the biggest problem number. This is a PlayStation 3 game, and yet the graphics are so bad that I've seen better footage in a PlayStation 1 game. Hell, there are times where the SNES's Primal Rage is more visually beautiful than this. Think I'm over-exaggerating? Look at these layouts of the Vegas crime labs. They're sparse, bland, and I've seen better 3D renderings created with Bryce. I mean, sure, Heavy Rain was a god-awful game, but at least it had some semblance of atmosphere. Actually, while we're here, I'd like to also mention problem number 2. You know, product placement has kind of just become a way of life now in today's culture, be it in films, TV shows, games, or even music tracks. But the blatant, in-your-face use of the antivirus program Trend Micro is not only sickening, but also ridiculously annoying. To process a majority of the different types of evidence you collect, which I'll get to in a minute, you're expected to log into the database network. Except every single time that you do, you're subjected to a 5-second Trend Micro is scanning your computer for viruses screen. Look, Ubisoft, if I want to experience the wonder of antivirus scans, I'll take some of my extra strong painkillers and sit at my laptop for a couple of hours while it does its nightly complete scan. Whoa, this virus scan is absolutely awesome! I don't expect to do so while playing a stupid video game. Anyway, I guess I'd better get back to the plot. So, we're at a car wash where some chick has died in her car. Hope she paid for the service before she went in. And from here it's your standard point and click affair, which more or less has you waving your cursor across the screen until it changes to indicate you need to do something. Be that look closer, collect evidence, or move the camera around. Which would be fun if the controls weren't so clunky. I don't know how or why, but this game makes using the analog sticks feel like a crime against good controlling, and immediately proves that this is not suited for the PS3. Oh, and of course, you also need to question witnesses and family members, bringing us screeching up to problem number 3. which point I rush to remind you we're not even 2 minutes into this demo. Voice acting can sometimes be hit or miss and make or break a game, and if you've seen my Let's Play of the X-Files Resist or Serve, you know how much the sound of actors clearly bored out of their brains pisses me off. But in Fatal Conspiracy, it's not that they sound bored, just, well, robotic.
They can satisfy themselves. We've got more pressing matters to deal with.
On the positive side, most, but not all, of the show's cast are here to voice their characters. But Mark Helgenberger sounds like a GPS, as if each single word is its own sound file.
Hello, Ms. Carver. We're from the Las Vegas Crime Lab. We just need to ask you a few questions.
And Paul Guilfoyle sounds as if he's talking at half speed.
That's the victim's roommate over there, named Veronica Carver. The owner of the car wash called her. All right.
Well, I'll run our victim through the database, see if anything pops up. Let's get this done by the book, you two.
As for the supporting cast...
Okay, sure. I mean, of course. I'm just a little, shaken.
they're just, well, meh. It's not bad, it's just nothing fantastic or engaging. And that's really disappointing considering the talents that were available.
Tox indicates high levels of benzoyl methyleconine, but you know it better as cocaine.
I wouldn't say it breaks the game, as there are far more elements that do that. But it makes a story which would probably feel entertaining otherwise really drag. Ironically, the only voice that feels remotely lifelike is that of the woman narrating the tutorial.
The cursor is used to both navigate and to select. Moving it to the edges of the screen will rotate the camera.
But she is so annoying that I had to switch her off before the urge to rip off my ears became too overpowering. Seriously, if she voiced the sat-nav, I think it'd be better for your health if you just got lost and asked some stranger on the street for directions.
When the cursor moves over something, it will change based on the action that can be taken.
Possibly the only element that makes this game interesting, and more than likely the only reason why you'll have picked it up in the first place, is the mechanic of collecting and processing evidence. As I said earlier, the clunky controls hinder this quite significantly, but you get to think about and choose what type of evidence it is that you need to retrieve. And when you're back at the lab, there's some cool messing around with fingerprint, DNA and fibre matching. Be warned though, if you miss the tiniest thing or don't view what you've bagged so far on your little PDA iPhone thing, which also acts as your navigation tool, options menu and case file viewer, all while being processed by Trend Micro of course, E.T. the Extra Technobabblist will be sure to moan at you until you take the hint.
We should take a closer look at some of our evidence. There might be trace.
Part of me wants to complain about how annoying this aspect is, but at the same time I have to give it some kudos because it reminds you that you actually need to check stuff you've collected for trace, like this syringe. And anything that makes the gamer think beyond what lies on the surface and explore a little deserves that much credit at least. Unfortunately though, execution of the handling of data overall feels sloppy and unfinished. For example, to compare fibres, it's just a case of tweaking the microscope until it focuses properly, and then Catherine the Martian pipes up to tell you that they don't match. Well, duh! Even I could have told you that! Telltale Games, who have delivered some of the best point-and-click titles ever in the past, have sadly put together a slow, boring and frustratingly ugly game for CSI Fatal Conspiracy. But Tash, I hear you cry. What? I didn't say anything! This is just a demo. It's not indicative of the finished product. It is! This is a finished and fully released game, and this is a segment they thought would sell the crummy thing to the masses. Thanks to Leela Willows, zombie Doc Robbins and a severe lag in frame rate when all I did was try to enter one of the labs, I didn't have the will or stomach to even complete the demo. And to put that into full perspective, I actually sat and played through every second of poor targeting, tedious controls and ripped off mechanics in the Quantum Theory demo, and yet couldn't see this through to its end. Apparently the 4 game comprises of 5 original case files written by the writers from the TV series, and it's admirable that they wanted to make this have as much of the feel of the show as possible. But while I can't pass judgment on the stories themselves because you don't get any real taste of them in this small snippet of gameplay, the poor pacing and deliveries on display in the demo that nearly put you to sleep with how slow and dull they are give me no reason to hope that this could entertain or hold the interest of even the most hardcore of fans. Which is why it pains me to highly recommend that you avoid CSI Fatal Conspiracy for the PC, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 and Nintendo Wii altogether. Don't even waste your time trying to rent it. If you're after a good Telltale release to play, check out Sam & Max if you haven't already, or the awesome new Back to the Future game. If you're a CSI fan, keep your fingers crossed and hope a better title comes out soon. Oh, and pray that CSI Mars isn't picked up by the network. Otherwise this will haunt your nightmares forever. Look, Ubisoft, if I want to experience the wonder of antivirus scans, I'll take some of my extra strong painkillers and sit at my laptop for a couple hours while it does its nightly complete scan. You bastard.